Former White House press secretary and Fox News contributor Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, welcome.
Good to join you, Mike.
Governor Cuomo is being pushed to resign, including by New York Democrats. Are his days left in office numbered, Kayleigh?
They could be. I mean, it's an uphill battle, any impeachment vote. He has to get majority voting against him in the Assembly, and then it goes to the Senate, where it would be 2/3 to be removed from office. That being said, you do have 50 Democrats who have come around and said that they are for him resigning. We'll see if that transpires into impeachment. But look, let me say this. I believe in due process. I'm a person who's consistent in saying that. Whether you're on the right or the left, you deserve an investigation. But what is interesting to watch is the hypocrisy of some of these Democrats who had zero tolerance standards, including Cuomo himself when he demanded Attorney General Eric Schneiderman step aside amid similar allegations of sexual assault, and also 3 assemblymen who he demanded step aside under zero tolerance policy. So that standard apparently doesn't apply to him.
What is more damaging politically in your view, the sexual harassment allegations or the nursing home crisis?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. They're both very damaging, but as the New York Post, several writers have pointed out there, where were the folks like AOC and Schumer and others, Kirsten Gillibrand, amid the nursing home scandal, which broke long before the sexual assault scandal? We know that 13,000 seniors died in New York. The fact that you have his own aide coming out saying we froze, which is why we didn't turn over the true numbers. This is very damaging. Lives were at stake. Janice Dean, of course, losing her in-laws, a very personal loss for people in New York, and there should have been calls for resignation long before just now.
To the crisis at the southern border, immigration, of course, a big issue with the Trump administration. Here is Democratic Senator Chris Murphy.
The 11-year high for crossings without documentation of the border was in the middle of Trump's presidency in 2019, when we had the most inhumane policies possible, when we were building a wall at the border. So this idea that it's Joe Biden's election that has prompted more people to show up is belied by the actual facts.
How do you respond, Kayleigh?
Yeah, what this president has done is incentivized illegal immigration, and it is the opposite of humane. We know that these children especially are trafficked, are victims of sexual assault and abuse, oftentimes on this very perilous journey. And to incentivize the kind of numbers we've seen by literally saying from the White House podium, we will process children and unaccompanied minors and get them into the interior of the country, it's deeply irresponsible. And by contrast, what President Trump did, if you'll remember, he had that 8-day standoff with Mexico where he said, I'm going to implement tariffs, very onerous ones that would damage both U.S. business and business in Mexico if you don't step up and help here and process immigrants in your country and secure the southern border with Guatemala. He ended up not doing the tariffs, but getting a big win and partnering with Mexico to stymie the flow of illegal immigration. For Biden to undo that, incredibly irresponsible.
To the agenda going forward, here's the woman currently at the White House podium. Let's take a listen.
The Oval Office remains open to Republicans, and we think there are a number of initiatives he looks forward to working on, whether it's infrastructure, modernizing our immigration system, continuing to do more work to put people back to work, and he's hopeful Republicans will join him.
Do you see any sign of the Biden administration working with Republicans?
Not so far. Not if the COVID relief bill is the strategy and the mold going forward. Look, everyone wants to see bipartisanship on something like infrastructure, where we should be able to partner across the aisle. But as Senator Barrasso said this morning, if you're going to shove the Green New Deal into this and take what is a bipartisan policy and make it something entirely different, then there is no hope of true bipartisanship. But we all hope to see it, although I'm not hopeful given the COVID-19 relief bill strategy that they've set forward.
Kayleigh, great to see you. Thanks so much for your time.
Good to see you, Mike.